Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another video. This time around I'm going to be showing you how to make realistic blood. For if you're a zombie or a vampire or a werewolf, you're always going to need some kind of blood. Now in my previous video, which was how to make a zombie costume, I briefly explained on this how to make some zombie blood. I said I was going to go in detail with this in another video, this being the other video. And so yeah, now first thing you're going to want to do is be outside. Reason being is because most of these ingredients and recipes and whatnot may most likely stain. So you're not going to want to stain like the walls or your carpet or your floor or whatever. You're not going to want to stain your house. So you may want to be outside. And kind of going off that, you're going to want to wear some clothes that you really don't care to get dirty. So mostly, for the most part, you'd want to wear gym clothes, in my opinion. So like a basic t-shirt and some basic shorts. You could also wear your zombie costume or your werewolf costume or vampire costume. Zombie costume would make a bit more sense because that one is probably the one that should get messy. But, you know, that's my opinion. Yeah, the reason I don't have my zombie costume is because I'd be sweating buckets, basically. And it is kind of hot, and I do have the fan, so it is kind of hot already. I don't really feel like wearing my zombie costume at the moment. So, yeah, if anything, I could turn this into a zombie costume next year. So, yeah. Now, as for ingredients and just the actual materials you're going to need, first off, you're going to want to have some Tupperware or plates or something like that. So I'm going to be making 4 different versions of blood. So in this case, I have 4 different Tupperware, or I believe that's what they're called, Tupperware. So yeah, so I have 4 different Tupperwares to put this in. They're okay size. They're not too big. They're not too small. If you want a lot of blood, get a bigger size Tupperware. If you want a lot less blood, get a smaller Tupperware. I feel like these are small to medium, so which is a decent amount in my opinion. So yeah, now as for the ingredients, you're going to want water. I have a sink out here and a hose right there, so I'm probably just going to get the water from there. If anything, I also have a pool, so there's that. So yeah, if you hear any background noise with like this, that's the pool. I don't know if you heard it, but it's like a waterfall, so yeah. Now as for actual ingredients aside from water, you're going to need some corn syrup. I got this light corn syrup from Cattle's. All these ingredients you can find at Publix. You could probably find them at Costco as well, or BJ's, or Winn-Dixie, or or any type of grocery store. You could probably find these at. So I got this at Publix from Cattle's light corn syrup. So yeah, I also got some basic food coloring: red, blue, yellow, and green. You're only gonna really need the red, green, and blue. You're not really gonna need yellow. If anything, you can always use the food coloring for the costume just to make like blood stains. So that'd be pretty cool. You're going to need some chocolate syrup, as well as some ketchup, and flour. So as you can probably tell, I've already used the ketchup, flour, and the chocolate syrup. So the only things I actually needed to buy was the food coloring and corn syrup. So yeah, now these 4 ingredients are all edible. Now, the website I'm getting off this is WikiHow. They have 13 different versions to make blood, and some of those are edible, some of those are inedible. So right now I'm just making edible ones. These 4 versions I think are the coolest ones and the best ones in my opinion. These are all edible if they have it to get in your mouth. But I will leave a link down below for those who actually want to check out that website and see all the types of versions. And maybe there's a different one you want to make. There is one with soy sauce, which is pretty similar to the one I'm going to be making with ketchup. So yeah, overall, pretty cool. So let's actually get to the first one, which will be... Alright, so this first one is literally called basic blood. It's the most basic of blood. Basically, get some water, food coloring, add a few droppings. I like 3 droppings because it's just my lucky number in my opinion. If you want to add more or less, that go ahead. But that's basically the most basic of blood. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. And then you're always going to want to mix it. So get a spoon and straight up just mix it. And basically this is going to be more for like splatter, so you're going to want to put this in your hands. So, maybe put some in your hands. I don't know if you can see it that much, but yeah, I mean, just kind of put it all over your clothes, maybe a bit on your clothes. So yeah, and this is just basically the most basic blood. This one's more for your mouth in my opinion, so that it looks a little bit red, tinged with red. So you don't really see that well on the camera, but yeah, I've seen the effects of this. I've used this type of blood before, and it actually is pretty decent in my opinion. It's not the best blood, but I might as well start off with this because it is the simplest one to make. Now on to the next one. So for this next one, we're going to try out some realistic wet blood. So yeah, basically, first off, what you have to do is basically fill, in this case, a Tupperware, about 1/4 filled. I think this is a bit more than a quarter. So let me just drink some. That looks like a quarter. So yeah, and then it says 3/4 of the corn syrup. So that's pretty cool. So just basically add about 3/4, one or 3 parts or whatever. Okay, I think that's enough. That looks like enough. Okay, so now it should be up to here. Looks pretty good. And then afterwards, and I am gonna, if it looks like I'm looking at the computer, it's because I am. Just to make sure I'm getting the instructions correctly. So after that, we're gonna want to put the food coloring. So basically, combine 1 part. Okay, add drops of red food coloring gradually and mix gently and stirring. So get your lucky spoon. Let's see if you guys can actually see how this looks. Turns out, let's see if that's good. That looks good enough. So just add a few drops of this. I'm gonna start with 3. 1, 2, 3. Because again, 3 is my lucky number. That looks good right off the bat. Okay. I'm not good with my left hand. I'm a righty, so I'm gonna start squeezing 3 more drops here. There. Let's see how it turns out. Now, warning. Once you start adding the blues and the greens, make sure this doesn't turn into purple because there's no way to fixing it, and afterwards you are going to have to restart all over again. So hopefully that doesn't happen. That actually looks pretty good right off the bat. And let's see what it says afterwards. Continue adding drops until the shade resembles real blood. Always err on the side of adding less, because it's easier to add more. So yeah, I think I'm going to add 3 more drops just to see how it turns out. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was 4 by accident, but shit. Okay, let's see. And it looks pretty realistic at this point. So yeah, I think that's because of the not gelatinous. What's the corn syrup? Shit. So yeah, and then afterwards it says add small amounts of blue or green food coloring to achieve a more realistic shade. Okay, article blood is bright red, while venous blood is dark maroon. So what they mean is like arterial blood is the red type, and the venous, so the ones from the veins. So the ones from the arteries are red, and the ones from the veins are blue. So like the ones here will be blue. The ones from the vein, these are the veins. So here it will be blue. The ones from the arteries. So I'm assuming I know you have an artery by your leg. So like the ones there will be more red. So let's start adding some blue. I'm gonna add 1 drop of blue just to see how it looks like. Oh shit. I think that was 2 drops by accident. So yeah, that looks pretty good already. Shit. So let's see what it says now. What color is this? Because I'm not. Is it purple? It's purple. Shit. Well, start all over again. Never mind. This website lies. Add a few more drops of red. It actually goes back to, I wouldn't say it goes exactly back to red, but it's not purple anymore. It's a bit more darker shade of red. So let's see what happens after this. Hopefully this works. So, yeah. Kill me if it doesn't. Again, the instructions are in the description, link in the description down below. So, yeah, it looks a bit more reddish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I added 6 drops now. Yeah, it looks good. Let's see if I can show you without damaging the computer. So yeah, it looks good in my opinion. So now, what does it say? Now, again, we're going to be making wet blood. So this is where you add thickener. So there's 2 versions of this. There's the wet blood and the dry blood. And the thickeners for this would be the flour or the chocolate syrup. This is wet blood, chocolate syrup. The dry blood will come right after, which is going to be with this one, the flour. So, yeah, so Let's see what it says for chocolate. Wet thickener. Stir in thick chocolate syrup until the desired consistency and optimal flavor is reached. So basically, add as much chocolate syrup as you want. Now, believe it or not, I'm not that huge a fan of chocolates. I mean, I like chocolate. I just don't like stuff that are like dark chocolate and shit like that. Yeah, I do not like it. So I'm gonna add this tablespoon. About. Pretty sure that's not a tablespoon, but let's go with it. Just add it in there. So, and you can also use maple syrup for this, by the way. So yeah. So it looks pretty good already. I do think it should add a bit more. I do think it should add a bit. I should add a bit more chocolate syrup. So there. So yeah. Yeah, it looks good already. I do think it should be a bit thicker, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it is coming out a bit thick. I feel it in the bottom. So let's see. Let me just. It feels a bit more thick in the bottom. I don't know why it's. Shit. I think I basically had hog chocolate syrup. So let's see. Yeah, again, I feel it in the bottom. I don't know why. I think I want to say gelatinous, but I think it's corn syrup that keeps affecting the reason why it's not coming that much to the top. But yeah, it is affecting the water a bit more. I do see it thickening a bit more. But yeah, this is definitely what I need to work on a bit more. Hopefully the flour one will be easier. I have heard that the flour one is actually easier to make. Again, if you make it better or correctly. So yeah. But yeah, this does look good. And let's see how this one tastes. Chocolatey. Really chocolatey. Yeah. So yeah, it does have a pretty good effect. And again, you're probably going to be spraying this on your clothes, or not spraying it, but putting it on your clothes. So let's do a quick test on here on the sleeve. So yeah, that looks pretty good in my opinion. Yeah, it looks pretty good in my opinion. Yeah, so if you accidentally turn it into purple, just add a little bit of red to it. Yeah, I think the thing is, I kind of misread the instructions at first, slightly. You do have to be frugal with the blue. That's the part I got right. Thing is, it has to be like a 3-to-1 ratio apparently. So 3 drops and 1 batch. So I didn't add any more blue. I don't think I want to add a bit more blue just because I don't want to risk it. But yeah, also I don't have the best eyesight. I do need glasses at times, and I think this is one of those times I kind of do need glasses. It is a bit dark as well, and I do have some shitty lighting, and it is getting nighttime at the moment, so more stuff to affect it. So yeah, it looks pretty good in my opinion. So yeah, this is the type of blood you're probably gonna want to have in your mouth. Just kind of gargle it, see how it turns out in your mouth, and then you are gonna spit it out and kind of just have it on your clothes like that. So yeah, now the next one I'm gonna be doing is a dry blood. Basically, kind of the same as this, only with flour. And yeah, that one's meant a bit more for clothes, from what I hear. So let's see how that one turns out. Alright, so you guys probably don't want to see this process again, so let's speed it. Now on to the flour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that speed up. And yeah, now the flour. Basically, let me just read the instructions very fast for the flour. This is for the dry blood. Let me find it very fast. Nope, chocolate. Okay, flour. Add a thickener. Dry thickener, which is flour. Add sifted flour or corn. So here we have flour, sifted flour. So yeah. or cornstarch, so you can also use cornstarch to your mixture and whisk or stir it gently until smooth. So, yeah. You'd probably need a dry spoon for this one, so let me get a dry spoon very fast. Alright, so I got a dry spoon. So yeah, just add a bit of flour onto this. It doesn't really say how much flour. Basically, it says that, whisk or stir it, and then it says, if small lumps form on the top, wait about a minute, and the lumps will float to the top where you can remove them easily. Note, you can also use glycerin instead, which is pretty interesting in my opinion. I don't really know what they mean with the glycerin. If you could use glycerin as a substitute, I don't know. But that's interesting. I saw that, but I didn't really understood it. So that's why we have flour. So yeah. So let's get this here. I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of flour, or whatever it's about. So here we go here. That looks like a bit, so let me just shave a bit off the top. That looked like a little bit too much. I'm just putting a bit off the top. Got some on my fingers. So, and then you're supposed to stir it. By the way, I wonder how raw flour just tastes like. Oh fuck. Nope, never mind. So you're basically supposed to stir this. And I hear this one's easier. So let's see how easy this turns out to be. I mean, you could probably use glycerin to have a better effect, maybe. I really do not know. So yeah, just mix this for about a couple minutes, and then anything on the top, any flour that's remaining on the top, just, I suppose, remove them. But, yeah. And this is more for the clothes, by the way. This one's more for the clothes, whereas wet blood is more for the mouth, so you could, like, spit it out and stuff, like, almost as if you had a meal. This one's more for the clothes, more around this area again, because it is dry, it's just kind of clothes that's been there for a long time. So it looks pretty cool in my opinion. Trying to use as much of the flour I could get, so I'm trying to squeeze like the top flour on the border of the Tupperware, and see how much flour I could get out of it, because I do not feel like taking out any of this, because this looks pretty good in my opinion. It actually looks, as it basically affected shade in my opinion, or it looks like it affected shade in my opinion. And in my opinion, I say the phrase, in my opinion, a lot. So, yeah. So let's see how this kind of turns out. Oh yeah, so just to compare to the wet blood, this one's a bit more darker than this one, which is pretty cool in my opinion. It's not supposed to be thick like this type of blood. So yeah, let's see how this looks. I'm gonna taste it. Yeah, it says edible. I wouldn't recommend it though, because the flour is shit. Nope. So let's see how this kind of looks like on the clothes. So again, the sleeve is my test dummy. So I think that kind of looks good. It is blending to some of the blood here, but it does kind of look good. I'm gonna see if I could get another area that's not really affected, but yeah. Now, here's the thing. This one doesn't really say where it should be applied to, per se. It just says, hey, use it. I'm gonna see if I could spit it out, see how it looks like. That came out really wrong. So it has a pretty good effect as well, but it doesn't really stain your teeth as much as that one. It doesn't look like it does much to your teeth as much as that one. It doesn't really say what the dry blood should be applied to, though. That's the thing. It just says dry blood, wet thickener. Let's see. Yeah, this mixes because there are two variations. Can get quite sticky, which is a chocolate, and may stain clothes. This one's probably the stain clothes with baby, but you can remove them with baby wipes or warm water. It tastes sweet, looks real, especially in front of a still camera. So that's the basic description. They both look good. So yeah, I feel like this is more for the clothes, and this one's more for the mouth. So there. Now onto the last one. blood recipe they have here, I feel like the ketchup one, or at least the ones I'm making, is the best one in my opinion. Or at least it looks like the easiest one to follow because it actually has instructions. I mean, they all have instructions, but they actually have proper measurements as well. So first off, you're gonna want to actually add the ketchup first. So it says put 3 or 4 teaspoons of ketchup or tomato sauce into a bowl. So there's my tablespoon. And since I've already tried flour, why not just ketchup right out from the bottle? Let's see. Why not? I mean, straight up, you could probably just spray the ketchup on yourself. That would look pretty realistic too. I actually got some ketchup on my neck. Hello. I mean, ketchup's tasty, so why not? But yeah. But here, just actually, and I call this classic blood because, for the most part, this is how most people actually make blood, just ketchup. So yeah, it says about 3 to 4 tablespoons of ketchup. So here's my ketchup. 1. So there's 1. I'm going to use 3 because, again, lucky number. 2. And 3. 1 quick squirt in there just for good luck. And there. Yeah, delicious. Tastes weird though. Without like French fries or like a burger. But ketchup is ketchup. Next up, it says 3 to 4 3/4 or 200 milliliters of water. And then mix in until you reach the desired consistency. Let me get back with the water, and I'll be back in a split second. Now, right? So yeah, I feel like I added a little bit too much water to the mix, but okay. Let's hope this works. Afterwards, it says add a few drops of food coloring, so I'm gonna go with 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1 more went in there, and then it says add a tablespoon of corn syrup. You know what? Last thing I haven't tried, the corn syrup. Straight up, how does straight up corn syrup taste like? Let's find out. Now, it's not that bad. Doesn't really taste like much. It has just a small sugary zing to it. So there's 1 tablespoon of corn syrup, and it goes all in there. And then it says mix well and spoon. Well, mix well and spoon onto desired areas. So, yeah. So again, just mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it. This actually it smells pretty interesting. If any of them have an interesting taste, smell, it'd be this one. The chocolate one has the best taste in my opinion, even though I'm not that big a fan of chocolate, or dark chocolate, because I feel like that's how it ends up, like dark chocolate, and it does have a bit of a dark chocolate taste. This one does, but not that much. So yeah, but this one probably has the most interesting smell. Now the worst tasting one, probably the flour one, because shit, it has flour in it. And then the one that just I don't give a shit about basically will be the water one, like the syrup. Just add a few drops of red food coloring and water. That's it. I mean that's probably that's the most basic one, and it is fun to use. But you know, these are the more advanced ones. And yeah, and I think this one looks the best one red wise. This one's the best one red wise. Okay, this one's the best one dark wise. So yeah, this is darkest. This is the water one, I think. Is this the one? Let me check. Basic water one. So here, and it is a bit see-through. So I will need to add just a few more drops of food coloring into there. And then this one is the flour one. So these are all the different types of blood you guys can make. I am going to be, editing these a bit, just to make sure they're up to par. And yeah, that's basically what you're going to need. Again, if you want to use any of these materials, or if you want to check out any of these instructions or whatever, I'll leave a link down below. They also have some pretty interesting ones. They have a soy sauce splatter blood one, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Let's see, they have one where you could use barbecue sauce, which is actually pretty cool. They have one where it's like gelatin. So yeah, and then they also have a few that are inedible. So they have this one where you use like an egg. It's like an egg and something else. I forgot what it is. I'm looking for it right now. An egg and Kool-Aid packs, which is pretty funny in my opinion. Okay, it looks pretty good. Okay, and then there's like this beetroot one, which I don't know what I'm assuming it's like beet juice. So that's pretty interesting. I don't have beets, but yeah. And then they have like movie blood splatter, which is like hair gel and shit. So yeah, overall, just pretty cool. These are the 4 basic ones I use. Again, just look down in the description below if you guys want to use any other specific ones or make any specific ones. They have like 13 different versions, so it's pretty cool in my opinion. And yeah, hopefully you guys check it out. And hopefully this was very informative for those who want to make your own blood. And just one final taste test for each of them. So, which one is this one? This one is basic water. This one is flour. Chocolate. Does need a bit. This one needs a bit more mixing. Okay, if anyone needs a bit more editing, it'd be this one. And then last but not least, the ketchup one. So yeah, I thought this one would taste worse. I'm not gonna lie. But that's basically it for now. Yeah, that's basically it for now. Hopefully, again, you guys found this very informative. Hopefully, you guys have a happy Halloween. And yeah, go check out my how to make a zombie Halloween costume. There should be an annotation or a card somewhere right here. And yeah, that's basically it for now. Subscribe, comment, whatever you guys want. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.